What happens when a lawsuit meant to clear a president's name suddenly puts his own private life under a legal microscope? A case that started as a political statement is now turning into a high-stakes legal gamble, with consequences that could reach far beyond the courtroom. A defamation lawsuit filed by President Donald Trump against the Pulitzer Prize Board is taking an unexpected and potentially risky turn, one that may force the president to confront a level of personal scrutiny he has long resisted. The controversy stems from a lawsuit Trump filed in 2022, targeting the Pulitzer Board, the body behind journalism's most respected awards. Trump sued after the board refused to revoke the 2018 Pulitzer Prizes awarded to the New York Times and the Washington Post for their reporting on Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Trump has repeatedly labeled that reporting as part of what he calls the Russia collusion hoax, arguing that the awards unfairly legitimized false narratives about his presidency. His lawsuit accused the Pulitzer Board of defamation, claiming its decision to stand by the awards damaged his reputation and misled the public. At the time, Trump's legal team framed the case as a fight for vindication. This case has always been about revealing the truth and vindicating the president and his supporters, presenting the lawsuit as a challenge to legacy media and elite institutions. But the Pulitzer Board has never backed down. In previous statements, the board said it conducted an independent review of the award-winning reporting and concluded that none of it had been discredited by later facts or official investigations. In other words, from the board's perspective, there was no defamation to correct and no reason to rescind the prizes. Now, as the case stretches into late 2025, the legal battle has entered a far more personal and consequential phase: discovery. Discovery is the stage of a lawsuit where both sides demand evidence from each other to support or challenge claims being made. And in defamation cases, this process can be especially invasive, particularly when the plaintiff argues they suffered emotional, mental, or reputational harm. That's exactly where this case has taken a dramatic turn. In a recent discovery filing, the Pulitzer Board formally demanded access to a sweeping range of Trump's personal records. The request includes Trump's psychological evaluations, medical records, prescription history, and annual physical exams dating back to January 1, 2015. So, the reasoning here is pretty straightforward from a legal standpoint. If Trump intends to argue that the Pulitzer Board's actions caused him emotional distress, mental anguish, or even physical harm, the board says it has the right to examine his health history to evaluate those claims. In its filing, the board stated that if Trump is seeking damages for, well, any physical ailment or mental or emotional injury, he must either produce the relevant records or confirm in writing that he is not seeking such damages. But the filing doesn't stop there. The Pulitzer Board is also seeking Trump's tax returns from the past 10 years, documents Trump has fought to keep private, despite years of political, legal, and public pressure. Legal analysts point out that while these demands may sound extreme to the public, they are not unusual in high-stakes defamation litigation. Plaintiffs who claim harm often have to open their lives to scrutiny, especially when they place their personal well-being at issue. Still, the implications are enormous. Trump has long insisted that he is in excellent physical and mental health, frequently highlighting favorable medical summaries and touting his performance on cognitive tests. At the same time, he has consistently resisted releasing comprehensive medical documentation or full financial records, arguing that such disclosures are unnecessary, intrusive, or politically motivated. That long-standing resistance now puts him in a legal bind. If Trump refuses to comply with the discovery demands, he may be forced to limit or entirely abandon certain claims for damages. That could weaken the very foundation of his lawsuit, reducing it to a symbolic fight rather than a financially or legally meaningful one. On the other hand, if he complies, sensitive personal information could be reviewed by opposing lawyers and potentially become part of the court record, depending on how the judge rules on confidentiality and admissibility. Either option carries risk. More broadly, the case highlights a familiar tension in American public life: the balance between transparency, privacy, and power. Trump has built much of his political identity around challenging institutions he views as biased or hostile, from the media to the courts to academia. This lawsuit fits squarely within that narrative, positioning him as a figure willing to take on elite gatekeepers like the Pulitzer Board. But the courtroom operates under different rules than the political arena. Once a lawsuit is filed, control shifts. Claims must be supported by evidence, and accusations invite counter-scrutiny. What began as an attempt to discredit elite journalism institutions may now expose Trump to deeper legal and personal examination than he initially anticipated. The court has not yet ruled on whether Trump must produce the requested records. That decision could shape the future of the case and possibly set broader precedents about how far discovery can go when powerful public figures sue for defamation. At stake are some fundamental questions about press freedom, personal privacy, and accountability. How much scrutiny should public officials face when they claim personal harm? Where is the line between legitimate legal inquiry and invasive overreach? For now, one thing is clear. Trump's legal offensive against the Pulitzer Prize Board has opened a door that may be, honestly, pretty difficult to close. What was meant to be a fight for vindication has evolved into a high-risk legal showdown, one where the outcome could reverberate far beyond this single lawsuit. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like the video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth stories and legal analysis. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.